Let's start with this. This quote from Sun Tzu is, thousands of years old, but it perfectly describes a threat that is happening right now. We're talking about an enemy that doesn't just steal your stuff, it literally steals your ability to do anything at all.
And this is what that looks like today. This week, that unseen enemy made its move. Not with an army, but with a ransomware attack. And the result? Absolute chaos. Check-in systems just dead. Planes stuck on the tarmac. The entire travel industry ground to a halt.
So, what in the world happened here? Well, this wasn't some random glitch. It was a cold, calculated move from a playbook that is getting scarily effective.
You know, the precision here is what's truly terrifying. The hackers didn't waste time going after one airline. No, they went for the jugular. They hit Collins Aerospace, the tech provider that's basically the central nervous system for dozens of airports. The fallout was instant. Within 48 hours, you had nearly 100 flights hit in Brussels, over 600 at Heathrow. I mean, can you imagine? They're doing check-ins by hand, with pen and paper. The lines were miles long. Just total, utter paralysis.
So you have to ask the question, did this just come out of the clear blue sky? Or should we have seen this coming? Turns out, the warning signs have been flashing for a while now.
Yeah, this was not a one-off event. It's part of a pattern, and it's accelerating. Just look back a little over a year ago. The BlackSuit ransomware group ran the exact same play on CDK Global. That's the software that runs 15,000 car dealerships. The damage was estimated at $1 billion. See the pattern? Attackers aren't just picking locks on individual houses anymore. They're going after the power grid for the whole neighborhood.
Okay, so what does this all mean for us as investors? It means we have to fundamentally change how we think about cybersecurity. This isn't just some line item on the IT department's wish list anymore.
The weak spot that these attackers are hitting over and over is something called a single point of failure. The best way to think about it is as a digital Achilles heel. It's that one single critical vendor, that one piece of software that if you knock it over, the entire industry comes crashing down. The bad guys have figured this out, and they are exploiting it ruthlessly.
And this quote, this just nails it. Cybersecurity spending isn't optional anymore. It's become a mandatory tax you have to pay just to do business in the 21st century. So the question for companies isn't if they're going to spend on it, but how much. And for us, the really important question is where that money is going to go.
But finding the right place to invest is a little tricky right now because we are in a seriously weird market. It's an upside-down world where good news for the economy is somehow bad news for the stock market.
So check this out. GDP growth? Better than expected. Orders for big-ticket items? Way up. Fewer people filing for unemployment? Great. Normally, Wall Street would be popping champagne, but not today. All this strong data just signals to the Federal Reserve that they don't need to cut interest rates anytime soon. And that makes investors really, really nervous.
And here's why they're so nervous. The S&P 500 is trading at a forward PE ratio of almost 23. Historically, that is very expensive. When interest rates are high, it gets a lot harder to justify paying those premium prices for stocks, and that puts the entire market on shaky ground. This quote about the AI spending frenzy just captures the moment perfectly. There's this mad dash to be first, leading to this, frankly, insane level of spending. It's a textbook example of speculative hype, and it's exactly the kind of thing you want to steer clear of when the market is already walking on a valuation tightrope. So how do we navigate all this? The key is to hunt for defensive growth. We need companies that are getting all this mandatory spending, but that are still trading at reasonable prices. It's all about separating the real, foundational businesses from the speculative bubble plays. And inside the cybersecurity world, you've basically got two paths. On one side, you have the bubble plays, these high-flying stocks with crazy valuations that are going to get hammered in a downturn. And on the other, you have the value plays, the bedrock companies, the ones that provide the essential infrastructure. That's where we want to be. So our first bedrock company is a name you definitely know, Cisco, the undisputed master of the network.
So, why Cisco now? Because they own the plumbing of the internet. And their recent acquisition of Splunk was a brilliant move. It creates this one-stop shop for security and just seeing what's happening on your network. In a world full of complicated, piecemeal solutions, having it all in one place is a huge advantage. They're not just reacting to threats anymore, they're moving into predicting them.
This makes them a foundational play that's going to both power and protect the AI revolution, not just another speculative bet on it.
Now let's move to our next one, Akamai. You can think of them as the sentinel standing guard right at the digital edge.
Akamai's superpower is its gigantic, globe-spanning network. It sits right at the edge, that space between a company and its customers, which is the perfect place to stop threats before they even get in the door. This means they are a direct answer to that whole single point of failure problem. Their tools can wall off an attack on one supplier and keep it from spreading to everybody else. It's a direct, practical solution to the biggest threat out there, and that makes it a reliable, cash-generating, defensive business.
And for our last pick, we've got a bit of a contrarian idea. Qualys, the surveyor of the digital fortress.
I love this analogy. Qualys isn't the firefighter who shows up after the building is already on fire. They're the castle inspector who walks the walls every single day looking for cracks before the enemy attacks. Their whole business is finding vulnerabilities. And here's the kicker. For a lot of companies, spending on this stuff is mandated by regulators. It's non-negotiable. That makes it a super recession-resistant business that's trading at a really reasonable price. It's the definition of a defensive growth champion.
Okay, so let's pull all of this together. What's the strategic blueprint you should walk away with after all this?
It really comes down to three things. First, this threat is real and it's only getting bigger. Second, the new front line in this war is the supply chain. Those third-party vendors are the biggest weak spot. And third, given this market, you have to pivot to value. Go find those essential companies with proven businesses that are selling at fair prices.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. When the digital fortress is constantly under attack, you've got to ask yourself, where is your money? Is it invested in the hype, the speculation, or is it invested in the solid foundational walls that are absolutely essential for defense? Something to think about.